heard that Jadavian was harboring feelings throughout the season of feeling like you guys were removing him from favorable matchups with offensive linemen and popping Miles over onto that side.
Yeah, I would say I was aware of it. Actually, just to cut to the chase, the Baltimore game we're talking about is the first Baltimore game, not the second Baltimore game. Moving Miles to the left side. So that's where, and he obviously voiced his frustration after the game. It was something that we dealt with, and for his 2 years here, and I just heard some of the other questions asked, we've always tried to match up Miles on their weaker links and JD on their weaker links and move both those guys around. We've always done that when we had Tack here, trying to move all those guys. We do it every week. And he was frustrated with the way we used him in that game and putting Miles on the weak link, and we addressed it, we moved on, and we tried to scheme the best we could to get him favorable matchups the rest of the year.
It seemed though that he is unhappy with more than just that one game. So has he been grumbling to you about other things, or did he kind of catch you by surprise?
No, he hadn't said anything since then. Would it catch me by surprise? No, because he hasn't had the production he had last year. So, again, it was a frustrating season for all of us, everybody in this organization, defensively. For him, obviously he didn't have the production he had last year, so he's frustrated. The way he went about it, I don't agree with, but we're here today dealing with it.
Disappointed are you that it kind of came to a head here on the eve of the season finale?
Yeah, the disappointing part is, the last 2 weeks around this building, we've kind of had a really good thing going with the competition out of practice. Obviously no one's happy with the situation we're in, but making the best of it. Guys around the building, flying around, having fun out there on the practice field. Obviously you saw what it did lead to the result it did against Washington. So, we're ready to do the same thing Sunday, and we're dealing with this, 48 hours before kickoff. It's not good.
Around him obviously last year and this year. Did anything change? Sorry.
With Jadavian, no. No, I would not say anything changed. I think at this point in his career, he's always dealing with some, chronic, lingering injuries, but nothing too extreme. He missed a couple games, but, for whatever reason, the production wasn't there. Whether how he feels about it or whether or not the ball just didn't bounce his way, I don't know. We'll reevaluate the whole season tape at the end of the year and look into it more. Yes.
Saying that the organization is trying to get Miles in the Hall of Fame at the expense of actually trying to win games.
Yeah, I think that's a statement that I totally disagree with. If we're trying to win football games, we're putting our best players in best positions to make plays. I think sacking the quarterback and getting the ball out is going to help you win games. So I don't think anybody in here has any other desire than to win football games.
What do you make of him saying that when Miles has been double-teamed more than any other player in the NFL, that Miles is somehow still getting the more favorable matchups? Where do you think that's coming from?
Again, I think it leads from his frustrations. We move Miles around to take double teams off. Miles is getting double teamed on first and second down. It goes all the way back to the New York Jets game on second down. I think they kind of showed some teams how to chip on second down, hiding it the way they did. So, again, third down really is the time we move guys around, try to find matchups when we know they're passing. And like I said, we do that all the time. And Jadavian was part of our plans in putting in favorable matchups. We moved him inside over the last couple of years. Again, did Miles have priority in that? Yes, we're going to put our best player in the best position to win.
Is it accurate that he told you guys he only was going to play on third downs for that game?
He did not say he was only going to play. He basically, I would try to get him to go out on third downs, and he would. And that's where,
Was he disciplined for that?
I will punt that to Coach.
So he wouldn't go out on the field unless it was third down.
Working through that Baltimore game, he came off the field, said that he was hurting, and he said that, first third down came after that moment. I said, can you go on third? He's like, yeah. And he went, and then, next series, said he couldn't go on first. So that's where we were, played third down that game.
He said it was an injury thing to you?
Yes.
Now maybe it wasn't.
Okay.
Correct.
The reason was that he didn't want to be matched up over the left tackle.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the exact reason.
It happens, and that was, whatever, 8 weeks ago. Has he been back to normal the last 8 weeks, and it hasn't been a constant issue for you?
Yeah, I would say normal. I would say that, yeah, he never verbalized anything from that point forward of any issues as far as his role.
I think it was the next week you guys started Alex, though. Was that a result of what happened in that first Baltimore game?
Alex started that game? Yeah, that could be a result from that.
Has it been a challenging year, from a defensive line standpoint with, some of the things that happened with Perrion, and then, Miles had to get benched for the first, for the first series of the Saints game, and, the issues that he had a little earlier with, his car accident and all that kind of stuff. So can you just, it's been a little bit of a rough year for you in the D-line, right?
Again, I think this year's been frustrating for everybody in this organization. Us personally in the defense line room, we've had our handful of issues just like everybody has. I think we had one of the tighter groups I've ever been a part of throughout the year. I think we had some older guys that embraced the younger guys. We had 3 draft picks, that played for us, I think is rare. I think the older guys did a great job with that. In Washington, D.C., we went out New Year's Eve dinner, this defense line, and we had a blast. Like, this is a connected group, and, we deal with things as they come, and obviously there's been some things, but I thought we had a good year as far as collectively as a group, not football-wise, just our culture in our room. Yes.
Can you share any of that conversation, or?
I'd just say I addressed the room that I thought he handled it the wrong way as a man.
When this happens, when the Baltimore thing happens, it comes out, do you ever worry that that's a bad influence on the younger guys?
Me personally, I always think that, culture is everything. That's something I believe in. I think culture is always changing. I think it needs to be driven from all areas, player leadership, coaches leadership, organizationally. So I'm always thinking that, yeah, I want our rookies. I just mentioned we had 3 rookies that played. I want them, learning the right way to do things, how to be a pro. And that's in everything, off-season, OTAs, preparing for games, scouting report, watching film, all that stuff. We're always trying to develop that. I'm always trying to develop that.
So when you said that you addressed your group and that you thought he handled it the wrong way, was he in that meeting, or had he been sent home already?
He was in my position meeting, and I addressed my position group about the situation.
How did he say anything when you told you the group he handled it wrong?
No.
Player leadership. Do you believe you've gotten enough of that this year from the veteran guys in that room?
In my position room? Veteran leadership. It comes in a bunch of different ways. We've had guys here in the past, Malik Jackson, that, was a starter for us. I think this year we've had different guys in the room, Sheldon Day before he was gone, then Isaac Rochelle, Winovich. I know he's only a 4th-year guy, but it just comes from a bunch of different ways. I thought Miles was good, and then I think, going through a car accident and this, I think that was kind of tough. That was a tough situation. And then through the season, I think Miles has been good. He's been a good leader for our room. So, again, different guys in there, but I think it's been good.
Chris, I got a different one for you, believe it or not. You left last year temporarily. You chose to come back. We don't know what's going to happen this year. What's it like for a coach at this time of year when you're not going to the playoffs and you don't know what your job status might be?
Fortunately for me, I grew up in it. I remember, being upstairs on the old telephones and listening to my dad and Pete Carroll talk every year in the off season. And it's just something we grew apart. My brother and I grew up in, For me, it's changed over the years now having 4 young kids, and it's just something you got to go through. We talk to our kids about it, not to listen to things at school or whatnot, because everybody's at different ages, things like that. That's what's important to me. The other stuff will be fine. I like coaching football. I love coaching football. I'm going to pour my heart into whoever I'm coaching, wherever I'm coaching. So,
If you were making the decision, would you sit Jadeveon down and not play him versus the Steelers?
I don't have the power to make that decision, so I'm not going to go down that road.
Chris, how much do you believe that the issues you've had to deal with within your room have maybe bled into the defense a little bit more than they should be?
Well, we have a saying, big men lead the way, so I like to think that we have a big impact on our defense. But to say the issues have bled into it, again, we're going to look at this whole season when the time comes and look back at scheme and coaches and personnel. We're going to do that. That's what you do every offseason. That's the time to get better. I wouldn't say it bled into the defensive issues. Could we have been better? Absolutely. So many areas? Absolutely. And we will be. We'll work at that personnel-wise, coaching, scheme, whatever it needs to be.
Haven't told you guys been on the inactive list basically the last half of the season. What happened there?
I wouldn't say anything happened there, It just the way it's played out. We went and got somebody, Ben Stilley, we signed and brought him in and gave him an opportunity. And, it's just played out that way for Tommy. Tommy's going to be up this week. He's going to play. He's deserved it. He's busted his tail the last however many weeks. He's somebody that I believe in. And, I believe in rewarding somebody that works their tail off and does everything right and buys into the culture. So he'll be up this week and he'll play his tail off for us.